Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tractorman 44. You're probably wondering where I'm at. Well, I'm in a place I don't really want to be, but that's out of necessity. I'm underneath my old truck, this old 85 F250, and see, I got a little dust and stuff up there. I've got a little bit of an issue. The fuel pump went out in the tank fuel pump. Oh, I don't know, it's been a while back. And went ahead and bought a replacement, put it in, no problem. I've done that before, you know, I've had this truck for many, many years. Never had a problem. This one here, however, after I fill the tank up, and I'm going around the road out here when I make a right-hand turn, when I veer to the right, fuel sloshes out of the tank, and I leave a little bit on the pavement, and I can see it in my rearview mirror. So what I'm going to go about to business today and doing is pull this off of here. I've already done it once and tried to fix the gasket. There's a little Chinese replacement pump. You know, you can't get them unless you go to a Ford dealer, and then it's ridiculously expensive. But a little Chinese replacement pump. The gasket or something is misshaped a little bit. So what I did, I got a O'Reilly replacement nut, ring, and thicker gasket. That's supposed to be a repair on this right here. Made in China also. So we'll have to take a look and see if that's going to do any good. What I got to do is I got to pop off the electrical connection, pop the fuel line and the return line loose, and we'll go ahead and spin that out. One of the hardest parts is getting these little retainer clips out of here on the return line, and then also out of the supply line. These here are no fun either. I'm sure they make a specific tool, but I got those popped out with a screwdriver. You always want to make sure you don't damage them. I get a little more dust and dirt out of here if I can. Now this here just taps out. You're going to get some dirt in there. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum if at all possible. Here's my fuel filter, looking good. Pickup filter. Good thing I got some clean cardboard under here to lay this stuff on. This would be a perfect opportunity for a small vacuum right here. Any of that debris that gets down in the tank is more than likely going to end up in your fuel system sometime or another. So I try to knock as much of that dust off of there before you knock that ring out. Whoop, I got a little bit in there that time. I saw it go in. This little replacement ring set me back about 10 bucks. But if it solves my problem, I will be tickled. I just thought maybe part of the problem, maybe I got a little debris underneath that one whenever I replaced that. I don't know though, I usually do a fairly thorough job of cleaning this out. Of course, it ain't like I do this every day either, you know. This will be the third time I've had the fuel pump out. It's the second fuel pump in since I've had the truck in 1994. I've got this all cleaned and ready to go with the new gasket, but I've got to get a contact adhesive and put a little dab of contact adhesive and secure this gasket to this plate prior to setting it in the hole, and then I have to slip this brand new locking ring on it. So I'm just going to cover the fuel tank up for now, go get some contact cement and take care of that, and finish this in a few hours. So yeah, I went ahead and took this over near the shed, and I went ahead and made sure that there was no imperfections in the surface. Went ahead and used a contact cement and got this attached on there. It's nice and secure now. And I went ahead and sprayed everything down with carburetor cleaner to make sure any debris I might have gotten on it has been cleaned off. And then I actually surfaced the top, the part where the locking ring is going to go around. I cleaned that all off and shined that up with a piece of crocus cloth. So it's ready to go back in now. that locking ring compresses that thick gasket. And there's little tabs bent over right there and little raised places on that locking ring that lock it into place and compress that gasket. So once you get sure that you've got that started underneath every one of them, then you can go ahead and tap it around the rest of the way. I just got to get it started a little bit farther, a little bit better. There we go. There, that started on all the way around the perimeter. You always want to use a dull screwdriver for this. If you use a sharp screwdriver, you'll peel that little nubbin off right there. And you only want to go so far. If you go too far, you will pry open these little guys here, and it'll just fall out. And then this is made to set squarely this way here, perpendicular to the fuel tank, so that the float can raise up and down back there. So yeah, I think it's in fairly snugly. I really need to treat that with a little bit of inhibitor. It's a contact inhibitor. Now these have been on and off a number of times, and they're getting a little worse for the wear. One of the days I get into O'Reilly, I see if I can buy another set of those, because those are going to let me down one of these days. Like maybe right now. There we go. It slipped in. This in here felt like it cracked on the way out. It comes up from the bottom, and it's offset, so it only goes in one way correctly. You wouldn't think that a little piece of plastic like that or that is the only thing that keeps you from breaking down on the highway. I can see this, the retaining clips on this plastic has been in and out enough times that it's already, it's finally decided it's not going to work for me. So I'm going to take a black zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie that in place to make sure that doesn't fall out. Because if that does fall out and this return line pops off, then as I'm going down the road, return fuel coming back from the fuel circuit up on the engine, you know, through the carburetor and everything, it's just going to spew out here on the ground. So I'm going to put a zip tie around there, and we're going to go for a ride, and we're going to make a couple of right-hand turns and see if we got any, see if we leave a trail of gasoline. It's looking real good, so I'm happy with that. Well, another thing too, you know, I told you there's a couple of reasons why I'm under the truck. Normally, you would have, with a 10,000-pound rotary lift that I just installed, a 2-post lift, you would think I would be under the truck, but up on the lift. This is the first time I actually went to use that rotary lift on this heavy vehicle. Now, this vehicle here is definitely heavy. I can't remember what the empty weight is whenever I go down to junkyard. I should check that one of these times, but it's run a little bit heavier because I got that fuel tank in the back now. But that's a 10,000-pound rotary lift, and it raised it up about to the second click, and it would barely lift it off of the safety catches, and I was afraid to put it up any higher because I thought it'd be my luck that it'll get all the way up there and then it just will fail to lift it off of the last safety catch, and then I really got a problem with it up in the air. So I'm a little disappointed. The 10,000-pound rotary lift is not going to lift this truck. If it doesn't lift this truck, it darn sure ain't going to lift that 3,500 Dodge Dually either. So I learned something, but at any rate, you know, I got that on a trade anyway, you know, so it ain't no big deal. It's really come in handy, you know, working on the cars and everything, you know, and all the lighter stuff. But I was really kind of worried about it lifting this vehicle anyway. And so now that I know that it's not what I consider to be a safe situation, I'm not going to even try it anymore. But I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and try it today, you know. But, you know, that's in knowing where to stop. You know, there's a line in the sand, you got to draw it. You can get up there and you can kind of kick a little sand on the line, but you don't want to step over the top of it, you know, for sure. So, hey, you know what? This has been a needed repair. I needed to do this for a while, and it just turned out to where it's time to do it today, and by golly, we got her done. And, you know, this is Tractor Man 44, and I'm out from under here, guys.